Hello everyone, meteorologist Jordan Derensberg here, and I'm going to go ahead and share this on my professional Facebook page so that you guys can all watch this handsome guy give a forecast, which is pretty much going to be about the same thing over the next several days. But there are a couple of other tidbits I do want to show you guys, especially when it comes to the tropics. Even though neither system is going to affect the Lone Star State, one of them could have an impact on the U.S. East Coast. So let's go ahead and let's go to the wall and let's take a look outside. This is our Zach Theater weather camera, and we are looking at just a few light clouds hanging around, but temperatures other than that getting to the low to mid 80s, but we're already in the upper 80s at Camp Mabry. I do have a high officially of around 92. I do think we have an outside shot of surpassing that as a result. We're already in the low 90s out in San Marcos, so that dry air starting to heat up faster than the moist air around it. Allergy count, ragweed, mold in the high. Fall elm low, pine none on the board this afternoon. You can find that on kview.com or the KView app, whichever you're watching me on right now. But we're also looking at highs today in the lower 90s, areas along and east of I-35. 92 is what I'm calling, and we're already getting pretty close to that. It's just noon right now, and we still have upper 80s for some sections of the hill country forecast. Now, with the dry air in place, we do have upper 50s, lower 60s across the entirety of our region. We are going to be mostly clear, and with that lower humidity, it allows us to cool faster, and that's why we have some mid 50s in the hill country, and that's going to feel really good. In the low 60s, they're going to continue on through early tomorrow morning, and we start with the Zero Prostate Cancer Run Walk. Some of my fraternity brothers, they're going to be forming a team. They're going to be out there, so if you see guys wearing either red or crimson with those letters across the chest, say hi to them, because those are my fraternity brothers, and all the other people who are running or walking tomorrow, hopefully y'all enjoy yourselves, and y'all should. I mean, you're going to be in the mid 70s, mostly sunny skies by the time the event ends, and eventually lower 80s by the time we get to the noon hour. Now, later on tomorrow afternoon, we do have that end of summer pool party at the Metropolis Apartments. That is in South Austin. We're looking at low 90s at around 4:30. I officially have a high of 91 as a matter of fact. So it's a pretty nice, pleasant pool day overall. A lot of DJs are going to be out, and they're going to be pumping beats throughout the course of the afternoon. So it should be a fun time had by all. Now, your humidity forecast. This is going to be important because I do have increasing temperatures as we head through the middle portion of next week, and that's because of the slightly lower humidity, because drier air heats up faster. And look at this as we head through your Monday and Tuesday. 93 Monday, 95 Tuesday, and that's coinciding with the slightly lower humidity values, and as a result of that, we're going to be seeing slightly hotter temperatures. Now let's talk about the tropics, because we have a couple of interesting tidbits to talk about here especially. The first one is Hurricane Humberto, and as we take a look at Saturday, especially Saturday afternoon and on into Sunday, we're expecting this to become our third major hurricane of the season. But that's not really the main one we're watching, because we're not really seeing this impacting the U.S. East Coast other than a few rip currents, but also this could impact the island of Bermuda. So if you're in Bermuda, if you're planning on going to Bermuda, something we're going to want to watch as we head through the middle of next week. But this is the system I really want y'all to pay attention to, especially if you have interest in Georgia and the Carolinas. This is Tropical Wave Invest 94L. And it's pretty much situated right there near Guantanamo Bay, and that's what's resulted in some storms in portions of Guantanamo Bay and out towards portions of the Abacos and other islands in southeastern sections of the Bahamas, as well as the Dominican Republic and sections of Haiti, including places like Labadee, seeing a good bit of rain from this invest right now. But these are the spaghetti plots I want y'all to watch very closely. If there's one graphic I want you to take away from this tropical update, it's this one right here, because it has a majority of that model data going into sections of South Carolina. It doesn't really show the intensity of this storm, but eventually this does have it becoming Imelda, probably as we head into early sections of next week. And so you're going to want to watch this very closely if you have interest in the Carolinas. So there is Imelda. That's your next name on the list. And a key tidbit is that the I storm has been retired more times than any other letter in the alphabet in the Atlantic Basin. So something to pay attention to there. And a lot of the Carolinas, of course, they're a year removed from Helene. So again, we're going to watch that very closely, especially in the Appalachians of the western sections of those Carolinas. No impacts here to Texas. And as you can see throughout the next 7 days, nothing really in the way of rain for us here locally too, which is, if you're a fan of dry conditions, great. But if you're not a fan of the drought, well, this is not good news. But anyways, another thing to watch is that Wednesday, Austin FC has their U.S. Open Cup final. We'll be in the mid-90s for that, mostly sunny skies, similar to where we are for today. So, to answer anyone's question, no, this Invest possible Imelda will not impact Texas at all. This is going to be mostly something for the Carolinas. I know some of y'all have interest in the Carolinas, so I thought I would go ahead and mention that very closely. There's nothing really else to speak of. The weekend looks to be mostly dry. There's really not a lot to talk about this afternoon other than the dry conditions as well as the lowering humidity values resulting in increasing temperatures as we head through the middle and latter portions of next week. So Trey McElrain says, time to start learning how to do a rain dance on Facebook. My guy. And you might be successful for the first day of ACL. That's when the next rain chances are in the extended outlook around 10 days out. That's, again, 10 days out. There's a lot that needs to be determined, but still, there are some longer range models that do show some shower chances as we start ACL, which starts next Friday, by the way. So something to really watch there. Doesn't look like there is any more questions or comments, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to leave it there. I will see all of y'all on KVUE News at 4. But in the meantime, we're going to have a tour of some local students who are going to be hovering around the studio. So I'm going to spend some time with them and kind of show them the ropes of weather real quick and maybe have this weather wall up so that they can all see it nice and beautiful. So I will see y'all coming up on KVUE News at 4. Thank you.